This is the Ford Kuga. Now, in case you're wondering, it's not actually named after the old Ford Kuga from the noughties. It's not named after the cat either, nor... Anyway, so it's a family-friendly SUV and it starts from £22,000. Click it there, you can go to carwow.co.uk and you can configure your ideal car and you'll get 5 great offers back from top dealers within 24 hours. So you can buy at a price you're confident in. Now on the inside, the Kuga is a little bit of a mixed bag. So the interior design, it's different, but it's also a bit strange. So you've got all these protrusions and childish looking instruments. And then there's this central area here. So the design of it sort of reminds me of a character from a video game. Look, it's like his helmet. It's just, yeah. In terms of the quality, so you've got soft touch materials here and on the door tops, and it's all right in places, but then other places like these dials and this area down here, it's all a bit flimsy really. And then there's the infotainment system. So this car has the new Sync 3 and it's a lot better than the previous systems you used to get in Ford, so you can navigate it reasonably easy. It's all right. The graphics are clear enough. There's nothing special about it, but what is annoying is this. The design of the way it's recessed means that it's hard to hit these buttons down here, especially when you're driving. I mean, what is all that about? If you want to see my full in-depth review of the infotainment system, then just click up there. The entry-level car doesn't actually have this larger screen. It has a smaller screen, which just looks awful. Then you get a multitude of buttons here. It's not great. In fact, I would avoid the entry-level Z-Tech car because it just hasn't got enough kit. You want to step up to the titanium because it's got all you need without the price getting too crazy. So you have this larger screen. You also have part leather seats. You've got parking sensors. You've got automatic climate control. There's no point going too far up the range because it all just starts to get a bit too expensive. In terms of in-car storage, well, actually, it's very good. So, look, huge door bins. You've got some cup holders down here. I've got the key in there. The keyless go for this one. We've got some extra storage into here and some USB ports and an all right size glove box there as well. Now, moving into the back of the car, the Kuga, it's a bit of an odd one, really, because it's okay, but it's not quite as big as you think it would be based on the outside dimensions. For instance, knee room, it's more than good enough, but it's not quite as big as you might think from an SUV such as this. And then there's the headroom. So if I sit up straight, I've got about that much space, but people over 6 foot will struggle for headroom, especially if they've got the panoramic sunroof fitted, because it does eat into headroom. Then there's the floor, so it's nice and flat, so that means there's plenty of space for everyone's feet if you have 3 in the back. And it is all right in the middle seat, and the body's kind of wide enough, so it's better than something like a Nissan Qashqai with 3 in the back, but nowhere near as good as something like a Skoda Kodiaq. Then there's the features that don't quite go the whole way. For instance, look, I can recline the seats, but what's the point in doing that? You're never going to have it in the upright position because then there is no headroom. So you're always just going to travel like that. And because they do that, you think they're going to slide, but they don't. What a waste. And then look, I can fold this down. I've got an armrest, I've got some cup holders, but you might expect there to be some through loading for skis or something, and there's not. You would get that on the Kodiaq. Oh, well, let's move on to the boot. Now, this theme of things not being quite as big as you expect continues here. You see, come on, open up. It's got the electric tailgate. The boot, you see, I mean, the capacity is big enough. It is big enough for most people. It's a little bit smaller than a Renault Kadjar's though, and nowhere near as big as something like a Volkswagen Tiguan's. And then there's the fact that, look, see this huge, like, protruding bumper. So you haven't really got a lip to lift stuff over, but you do have to then lift it over that. Otherwise, you're going to end up scratching that really badly with luggage. In terms of features in here, if you look under there, there's the space saver spare wheel, but not really any other room besides that. There's very few tethering points. There is a 12-volt socket there. But the annoying thing is this, I want to fold down the seats. There's no levers here. There's not even levers on the top. So now, if you bear with me, I'm going to have to go round and do it here. Come on. There we go. I'll do the other one as well while I'm here. If you own this car, you'll find a much easier way of doing it than this. And then a problem is revealed. So the space, once again, look, I mean, it's a reasonable size, but look at that huge ridge. And that is a pain if you want to slide heavy items to the front of the cargo area, because you're not going to be able to do that. Now, for more detail on this car's practicality, click it there to watch my detailed video. You'll be able to see just how much stuff you can cram into the boot, how easy it is to fit a child seat in the back, and what it's like with 3 adults.
Now you know what this car is like on the inside, let's find out how it drives.
Now the Kuga is a bit of a mixed bag when you're driving it in town. So the good bits are the fact that the steering is nice and light, the gear shift is good in the manual, and the automatic's really smooth if you have that. The brakes are, well, they're not jerky, they're just about right. Then there's the visibility. So you sit up high, which gives you a good view out, but you've got this really weird long dash, so you're kind of having to peer to see where the front of the car is. And then there's this blind spot here. I mean, look at it, it's absolutely huge. You could hide an elephant behind there. It's annoying. At least the view at the back window is pretty good. Now if you click up there, you can see for yourself by joining me for a point of view test drive video, and that brings me on to the comfort. So it's all right, it's just that the suspension is a little bit on the firm side for this type of car. So yeah, it can feel a bit choppy over rough surfaces, and you end up feeling your fatty bits wobbling about, which isn't particularly pleasant. The Kuga is actually pretty good on the motorway, so it's quiet enough at speed. Get the 2-litre diesel if you're doing lots of miles. It's really good. Don't get the 180 horsepower one in this car because it doesn't feel much faster than the 150 horsepower version, which is cheaper and slightly more economical as well. So this 180 version is supposed to do over 50 miles per gallon, but I'm only getting 38, which isn't really very good. If you're not doing many miles, go for the 1.5 litre turbo petrol, the mid-power version, it's all you need. And while you can get the Kuga with 4-wheel drive, I wouldn't bother because it does reduce the economy slightly. And really, do you need 4-wheel drive? You're driving up mountains? And if you're worried about snow, just get yourself some winter tyres and that'll do the job in the winter. Now Ford have a bit of a reputation for being fun handling cars, and the old Kuga was. And this one, when you first drive it and you turn the steering wheel on a twisty road, it turns in sharply, so you think, yes, it's going to be fun. It's almost like the steering writes checks that the rest of the body can't actually cash, because when you're in a corner, it just feels a bit laboursome and a bit ponderous, and it's not fun to drive. It's just okay. This particular car is the ST line version, and it has stiffened suspension for a supposedly more sporty drive. And it feels more sporty in the way that the ride's a lot firmer, so it's jiggly over bumps. But it doesn't actually seem to handle any better, so it's just not worth it at all. Also, the bigger wheels seem to tramline, so when you hit a rut in the road, it can feel at times like it's someone else is trying to drive the car. Get off!
Actually, there's more annoying things about this car. Here's 5.
If you were to take your car on a driving holiday to Croatia, no one would want to get near you because Kuga in Croatian means plague. The controls for the central air vents are all the way up here, so you really have to reach for them. I don't see why they have to be such a big, silly rotary knob. 4-wheel drive versions of the Kuga get this rather tacky looking all-wheel drive badge on the doors, and it looks a bit wonky to me. Even though the Kuga's door extends quite low down, when you open it, you do notice that muck still gets in on the sill, and then, yeah, when you drag your legs over it, they get all mucky. While the Kuga has a rather solid feeling low cover, there's nowhere really to store it in the car other than here, which means it takes up space. Also, I've just noticed that because of this protrudy bumper, you end up getting muck and water all over your legs.
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
The Kuga is available with hands-free tailgate opening, and unlike with many other cars that have the system, it works on this at first attempt. Look. Now, you didn't think it was going to open, did you? Well done, Ford. With Ford's Mikey, you can limit how loud the car stereo will go and the maximum top speed, which is ideal if you lend your car to a young driver you don't quite trust. One of the good things about this car's panoramic glass roof is that you can actually open it. And then you can let some air in, which is good because I've just farted. And like many other modern SUVs, the Kuga actually has real, not fake, exhaust pipes. Makes it look sporty. The rear windows go all the way down, which is perfect if you've got a dog that likes to lean out. Now, if you click up there on the pop-out banner or on the link below the video, you can go to carwow.co.uk and compare offers on the Ford Kuga. So then, what's my verdict on this car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider the Ford Kuga. It's a fairly decent family SUV. It's just that there's plenty of alternatives that do it slightly better. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. and click on the window to watch our detailed practicality and infotainment video reviews for the Ford Kuga. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in this video? It was the picture of the Mercury Kuga in the car's boot, because of course Ford owns Mercury.